Hey guys, welcome to a new week of videos. Welcome to your Monday morning video. Today we're going to be talking about how to bid and play a slam hand from last night's Mentor-Mentee game. Before we get to that, I've got some housekeeping items to do. I realized that I have not welcomed a couple of new patrons who joined the pirate ship in the last week or so. Their names would be Pania Ratti, I hope I pronounced that right, and Ann Roush, I'm pretty sure I pronounced that right. So welcome to the videos. Reminder that new content drops on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We just talk about fun little stuff, maybe do a deep dive on a hand, or talk about bidding, or talk about defense, but try to keep it pretty fresh every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and try to have those out in the morning when I don't have too much other stuff to do. So last night we had winners at the 3Cs Mentor-Mentee game. Those winners' names would be Jill Corey, Renee Getz, Roberta Titchener, Leo Eiking, Barbara Hudson, and Jim Rue. And that was a special game last night. I believe that it's Fifth Tuesdays, or if there's not a Fifth Tuesday, it reverts to Fourth Sundays. The Raleigh Bridge Club has a program where experienced players play with less experienced players. It's called Mentor-Mentee. And we slow the clock down a little bit, play 18 boards, and I think you get maybe 7 minutes a board instead of 6 or something like that. But the idea is that we're transferring knowledge from people with more experience to those with less experience. Everybody has a good time. This program was instituted by Becky Fox maybe 3 years ago at the RBC, and she's just grown it to the point where it's a tremendous success. She's handed the reins over to Doug Holbrook this year. Shout out to Doug for administering that program currently. So without further ado, let's get to the hand that I want to talk about. I picked this hand, first of all, because people like to talk about slam hands, so we're going to do that. We're going to go through this slowly. And second of all, I was sort of amazed at the amount of mistakes that were made on the bidding of this hand, so it's a good one to clean up. You definitely want to have your slam bidding in order, okay? So East deals. East has a 5-4-3-1 17 count. Get in the habit of thinking about your hands just like I just said, a 5-4-3-1 17 count. Those are the 5 pertinent numbers. The 4 shapes of your suits and how many high card points you have is basically how you would hear experts generally describe hands. They might even be more specific, like I held ace king 10-9 fifth, ace king 10 fourth, dry, which is slang for singleton, and king third, if they were going to talk about all the cards and the placement of the cards, which is obviously important if you want to get a little bit more specific. And if you talk about the hands that way, you always go spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs. If you want to say I had 5-4-3-1, usually that doesn't specify what the order is. But anyway, that's just a little tip for how you can sound smarter than you are. So we start with a spade, obviously, and north-south are not going to get into the auction here unless they're super creative. And I'm not creative enough to get in with either of these hands. So it's going to be passing throughout for north-south. So West has a little bit of an issue here. The important things are we have enough to force to game, and we have a spade fit with our partner. We also have this diamond suit, this heart suit that are pretty decent to talk about. So let's first talk about how we might raise spades if we chose to do that. The problem is, like, nothing really fits with 3 cards in a game force. You don't want to use Jacoby with only 3 trumps, and I didn't see anyone in the field doing that. You don't want to just be bidding 4 spades because that shuts out slam. It's going to sound to your partner like you have a bunch of trumps and not many high card points. I did see some of that in the field. That concerns me. You don't really want to use a forcing 1-no, and you certainly don't want to use it if you're playing semi-forcing. You really have too much hand for that. Talk about, so there's no way we can really directly raise spades, but that's fine. We don't have to rush to get the spade fit in the picture here because we have such a good hand. We do have 14 points, a balanced hand, 4-4-3-2. So the idea here is that you want a 2/1 in your 4-card minor. You never want a 2/1 in your 4-card major. I saw that at least once, including at my table. If we bid 2 hearts here, that guarantees a 5th heart. Okay, so that needs to be off the table. And by process of elimination, what we're going to come up with here is bidding 2 diamonds, assuming that you're playing 2/1. And our basic plan is to support spades on the next round. However, another good thing about not supporting spades immediately is you might find a heart fit that's superior. In other words, if partner were to bid 2 hearts over 2 diamonds, we probably want to head towards our 4-4 heart fit rather than our 5-3 spade bid. Saw a lot of mistakes on that too. So these are all the reasons why we're bidding 2 diamonds here. First of all, no sort of spade bid matches what we got with 3 trumps and a game 4s. We don't want to bid 2 hearts because 2 over 1 in a major in hearts, that's the only major you can 2 over 1 in, promises 5. So we're going to start with 2 diamonds and let the auction develop. And if you're playing 2 over 1 game 4s, the minute you bid 2 diamonds, the auction doesn't stop below 3 no trumps. So both sides can go slowly on this. And lo and behold, East does have 4 hearts and has the room to bid 2 hearts here. Okay, and East has a pretty good hand, right? Like an ace more than you might have for opening the bidding, but there's no need to rush in 2 over 1. One of the great things about 2 over 1 is that it allows us to bid our shapes out below game without having to worry about what's forcing and not. Okay, so we can bid 2 hearts here. Seem like pretty universally people who started with this auction of spade 2 diamonds did bid 2 hearts next. It goes past, and now one of the reasons why we selected 2 diamonds on the first round has come in. We can support hearts rather than spades. We want to play the 4-4 heart fit rather than the 5-3 spade fit. Generally speaking, 4-4 fits are going to play better than 5-3 fits. Okay? And again, we don't have to jump to 4 hearts. And in fact, we really don't want to eat up all that space because we have a very, very nice hand for the way that the bidding has gone. If you'll remember things that I talk about all the time, it's having aces on the outside and soft cards on the inside. Okay, the inside of the suits the partners got blanked in. And look what we've got. We've got the perfect types of cards for that. We've got slam positive cards. We've got the cards in the right places, i.e. we have queen jack 4th of a suit that partners bid. We have queen 3rd of a suit that partners bid. And then we have 2 aces on the outside. This is really shaping up like a good hand. And again, playing 2 over 1, we can just bid 3 hearts here and not eat up all that space and force our partner to guess whether there's a slam by bidding 4 hearts. We don't want to discourage partner from bidding more here. We have a very, very nice hand. So we can go 3 hearts. At this point, East knows that the partnership is playing hearts. He has a 17 count with controls in both of the unbid suits. And really, I think East can just about just bid Blackwood here. Okay, there's no uncontrolled side suit. East has extra values. The king of clubs would be protected on the opening lead. Like there's no way they could lead through the king of clubs and score the first 2 club tricks, if that's what was going on, right? So I think that what East is worried about here is the queen of hearts, the ace of clubs, and the ace of diamonds. We have a bid to do that. It's 4 no trump. And again, I feel like I've said this until I'm blue in the face, but it's worth pointing out again. When we use Blackwood, and when I say Blackwood, I'm using that interchangeably as 14-30 or 30-14 if you prefer that, but most people play 14-30. When we bid this, one of the things we are saying is that if we come up with 5 of the 6 important cards, the 6 important cards are the 4 aces, the king of trumps, the queen of trumps. If we find out that we've got 5 of those, we are committed to a small slam. And if we find out that we got all of them, we're going to let partner know that, and partner's either going to show us side kings, or every once in a while, partner will be able to just count the 13 tricks and bid the grand slam, knowing that we have all the key cards. Okay, so there's no bidding 4 no trump, finding out that you have 5 of the 6 important cards, and then stopping shy of slam. There's no judgment involved. One of the things you are implicitly saying when you bid 4 no trump is, look, if I find out we've got 5 of these 6 cards, we're bidding 6. Okay, and if I find out that we got 6 of 6, we might bid 7. So it goes 4 no trump. Again, we wouldn't be doing this if we had, say, 2 small clubs. You're never going to have, I see this abuse all the time. I could talk about it from you know, you could listen to me say it for the next 24 hours and you would still go out and do it the very next time. But the right way to use Blackwood is that you don't have an uncontrolled side suit. Problem with that is similar to the problem with a void. You know, it's not the question we need to be asking, how many do you have? Okay, if I've got two small clubs and it turns out that we've got 5 of the 6 important cards and they cash the ace king of clubs, what good does this do me? Okay, so one of the things I'm saying with my 4 no trump bid is don't worry about the club suit. We don't have 2 of those losers. We bid spades, we bid hearts, we bid diamonds. I got the clubs taken care of. How many key cards do you have? And West has 2 with, right? 2 aces and the queen of hearts. So the answer would be 5 spades. You would type in the dialog box, 2 key cards plus spade queen. You can always put a spade symbol into the chat by exclamation followed by the letter that is the first letter of the suit, right? So spades is exclamation S, hearts is exclamation H, yada, yada. Okay, so this is great, right? East at this point knows that the partnership has all the aces and the ace, king, queen of hearts. So we've got all the 6 key cards at this point. East doesn't know enough about the hands to know that 7 would be a good proposition here. All right. But he doesn't necessarily want to just bid 6 hearts and shut his partner out. A cool thing that he can do here is bid 5 no trump. And this says, partner, we have the 6 important cards. I don't know enough to bid 7. Obviously, we're committed to 6, right? You know, I mean, we're committed to 6 the second you bid 5 spades, since that's past our trump suit. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? And what West would do here is, if West visualizes, okay, he's saying we've got all the important cards. That means he's got ace 5th of spades, ace king 4th of hearts, and whatever in the minors. Do I know enough to bid 7? And the answer is absolutely not. Like, you don't know about the king of spades, for one thing. Okay, that's a big thing. So failing that, you would bid a side king if you had one. Okay, here we don't have a side king. And we just go back to the trump suit. And I honestly think that's going to be enough, right? Neither side really knows enough to bid 7. It's too bad that East couldn't figure out that West had the queen of spades here. I think if East knew that West had the queen of spades and the ace of clubs and the ace of diamonds and the queen of hearts, we could pretty comfortably bid 7. And that would be the end of it from my perspective. It seems like the queen of spades is really a great card that we never found out about here, but this is how I would bid these 2 hands. And really looking at the 2 hands we want to be in 7, right? We have 4 heart tricks, probably 5 spade tricks, the ace of diamonds, the ace king of clubs, and we're going to rough a club in the dummy for 13. And you'll notice here too that really spades and hearts are about the same contract. Okay, we could rough a club with one of West's small spades just as easily. Hearts is a little bit better, and I'll show you why in just a second. The hearts has got better trumps for one thing, but there's one other thing. So let's walk through the play just to make sure here. I would guess that South leads the queen of clubs. That's the unbid suit, and you've got a sequence here. And as East, again, I count the tricks. 4 hearts, probably 5 spades, the ace of diamonds, the ace king of clubs, and I can rough a club in the dummy for 13. Alternatively, I could look at it from West's perspective. That's one of the cool things about a 4-4 fit, by the way, is that you can you have the flexibility of making either hand the master hand. You could look at it from West's perspective and you could rough a diamond in the East hand. I don't necessarily see why that's any worse. Okay? I'm not sure which one is slightly better, but you could look at it either way. Okay. We need to rough one thing, which means that we can afford to pull a couple of rounds of trumps here. So let's go ahead and, is there any reason? It doesn't matter where we win this. Just on the small chance that North would somehow be roughing this, let's play small. Go ahead and play our trumps. End up breaking. Let's great. And now let's notice one thing about this spade suit. This gets back to why hearts is a little bit better than spades here. The way we want to play this spade suit is like, look, if the suit breaks 3-2, nothing that we do matters. We're just going to take 5 spade tricks. However, let's say the spade suit breaks 4-1. Okay, and let's say that the hand with 4 is to the jack. The way we want to set up this spade suit is that if we discover that somebody has jack 4th, we can still cater to it on the 3rd round. Now, we're not going to be able to do that if South has jack 4th of spades. We're just not going to figure it out in time. But if North has jack 4th of spades, we want to win the first trick in the East hand and the second trick in the West hand. And today, like, they break 3-2, and you just have a claim for the rest of the tricks. But pretend that South had shown out there, and that at this point, North still had jack and 1. You would be in the right hand to take the finesse over the remaining jack and 1. And we can't really cater to that with South. I said earlier that we preferred to be in hearts here. One of the reasons it turns out on this hand is, imagine you'd roughed a club with a spade. Like, say you're playing spades as trump. If you rough a club with a spade, at this point, you're not going to have any spades left to take this finesse. Okay, and maybe there's some fancy coup or something like that, but basically you don't have the same flexibility. All right, so we can claim the rest of the tricks here, and we can take a look at the scorecard. Shift this over, go to history, results on board 10. Actually, is this in? Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's go to the common game here, because it just has so many more comparisons. So yeah, it's the right board. And you'll see that 1460 was definitely the mode, the result that got the most sample. And if you get 1460 here, you are going to get, how do I read this? It's kind of weird. Okay, if you get 1460, you're going to get 77%. This is all from north-south's perspective. It's a little bit weird to think about, but if you get 1460, which is really what you ought to get, you get 77%. 1430 would only be worth 52%. It's important to count your tricks and get that extra trick. There's no excuse for only getting 1430 on these 2 boards, or these 2 hands. If you bid the slam, you're going to get 99%. And if you bid the game, you're going to get 7% for making 6 or 32% for making 7. And again, you see the importance of making sure that you take 13 tricks. Even it's not good enough to be satisfied with your game or slam bonus. If it's a normal contract, you've got to take all the tricks that you can likely take. Okay, so that's how the scoring would work on this one. And yeah, so let's go back over and review our main points here. West, 2/1s in diamonds, not in hearts. East can slowly bid out his pattern. Here he can rebid 2 hearts to show 5 spades and 4 hearts. West wants to set hearts as trumps. We want to play 4-4 heart fit rather than a 5-3 spade fit. East has all the controls and extra values. We have a 17 count where we might just have 11, really, right? So we can kind of just wheel out 1430 and, you know, figure out how many of the key cards we have. We figure we've got enough slam positive features. We've got control of the club suit. All I really care about is ace of clubs, ace of diamonds, queen of hearts. We have a tool for that. It's called 4 no trump. West just answers with 5 spades. That's 2 with. East comes back with 5 no trump to say, look, we've got all the key cards. Is it possible with that knowledge you could count to 13 tricks? If so, feel free to bid a grand slam. If not, give me a side king. West has no side king to bid and just bid 6 hearts. The companion hands play 6 hearts. You count your tricks, you take your 13 tricks, and you get 72% on the board. Okay, so honestly, guys, even in the mentor-mentee game, I was a little bit shocked at all the paths that the bidding diverged in. First of all, that people weren't more comfortable getting to hearts rather than spades. And second of all, like in a 2-over-1 auction, you don't have to rush. Okay, West doesn't have to bid 4 hearts or 4 spades anytime soon. You can let the bidding develop if you're playing 2-over-1. All right, that does it for hand number 10. Hit me up with any questions. Again, welcome to our new patrons. Thank you for supporting this project. Congrats to our winners from last night, and I will see you guys again on Wednesday.